Ladies and gamers, what's popping? Legion Commander Trestin has always been my favorite female character, but now that Sorla Khan has been teased for the upcoming new game Artifact, and possibly as a new hero in Dota 2, Legion Commander has a very strong competition. This new character is super cool and powerful, and in case you can't be asked to read up on her yourself, here's all we know about her. First, some background information. Mogul Khan, the Axe, was once in the Red Mist Horde, an army of Oglodi warriors. Axe fought one rival after another within the Red Mist, rising in rank, and eventually killing the entire army. Trestin, the Legion Commander, is the commander of the Bronze Legion, which has suffered a great defeat against the Red Mist during a battle in Roseleaf. It is unknown whether this was before Axe killed the Red Mist or after, but since we didn't know about Roseleaf until recently when Dark Willow came out, I'm gonna assume it was after. So how could an army that had been wiped out have won against the Bronze Legion, led by one of the most badass female characters in video games, and which has won against the Abyssal Horde in Stonehall? With one powerful-ass leader, Sorla Khan. If you want to know more about Roseleaf and Stonehall, Loregasm by Suraction Slacks has it covered. I'll leave a link in the description. Sorla Khan is from the race Oglodi. They are typically red-skinned, big and muscly, like Axe and Lifestealer, but some choose a more scholarly life, like for example Disruptor and Warlock. They also vary in redness of their skin color, as we can see on Warlock and Lifestealer. Yes, Lifestealer is an Oglodi. Warlock and Lifestealer are both very old, which might mean that the red skin fades as the Oglodi age. But anyway, so in Axe's cosmetic item, the Blood Mist Belt, it says, "With the army of red mist now a bloody heap, the Blood Mist army rises to fill the void." And while this could be the new army Sorla Khan is the leader of, Pangolier in a voice line confirms that she is indeed in charge of the red mist, not the Blood Mist. After the entire Horde got destroyed, one terrifying Oglodi rebuilt the entire thing from scratch. And in a voice line from Dark Willow to Axe, it is revealed just how powerful and intimidating she is.
You're much more reasonable than Sorla.
So it's not surprising that she was able to gain respect and loyalty from so many brutes. But while she has the respect of the Oglodis under her, not everyone feels the same attraction. Pangolier says this to Axe.
"I apologize for lumping you in with the Red Mist Horde. You are nothing like Sorla Khan."
Which suggests that she is not just powerful, but also perhaps ill-tempered. He can't admire her for being strong, so she probably has other traits which are unlikable. Like, for example, skinning her victims. Listen to this voice line from Pudge's Arcana.
"Sorla can have your skin, but the meat's mine."
So Pudge doesn't seem to mind her, at least not so that he found it noteworthy, but he points out how she can have his victim's skin. This is so specific that I can't believe it doesn't mean anything. Maybe what's so unlikable about her is that she skins her victims, and perhaps does other violent, unnecessarily bloodthirsty things? Juggernaut confirms her prowess even further in his Arcana voice line.
"Axe, when this battle is over, we must discuss what to do about Sorla Khan."
She has built an army of Oglodi after the old Red Mist had been completely destroyed, and the new one is so powerful that they defeated the Bronze Legion and also are a concern to Juggernaut to the point where he needs to get advice from a former member on how to defeat her. In case Sorla's leadership abilities aren't enough to convince you of just how grotesquely, immensely cool she is, Pangolier also mocks Axe for being a disappointment compared to her while fighting.
"After fighting Sorla Khan, you are a sorry disappointment."
"This is why Sorla Khan took your place."
So she is not just capable of leading an army, but in solo combat, she is also insanely impressive. Sorla Khan is gonna be an exciting new character, and I can't wait to see more of her. Trestin is still my favorite female hero, but who knows when Artifact gets released. Hopefully along with more data on Sorla and the new Red Mist army. The Red Mist Horde, Bronze Legion, and Vul Rebellion are the three sides of the great conflict that the game Artifact is going to revolve around lore-wise. For more about the future of the Red Mist army and specific information about the general lore of the Artifact and Dota 2 universe, make sure you subscribe to Artifact Academy, where a video on this very topic might be released in the near future. Let me know if you liked or disliked this kind of video with a voiceover over a painting process of a character, or you prefer my usual, much more boring method. It gives me a good incentive to start painting again, as it's an old hobby I have neglected more and more, deteriorating my skill over time, as is evidenced by my struggles with simple things such as arm anatomy in this painting. I hope you enjoyed, hope to see you around. Peace!